Despite being a bit of a latecomer to the Far Cry franchise, nowadays I do find myself enjoying most of what Ubisoft brings to the table. The stories tend to be interesting, the characters sometimes border on iconic, and being able to go back in time and live like a caveman, well, that's a bit of a highlight of the series for me. What's always held me back though are the bloody multiplayer trophies. Ubisoft's insistence since around Assassin's Creed Unity that we all get along and play together completely rules out some of the games for me. Ubisoft, the master of bringing us single player experiences while sneakily forcing us to socialise like it's a family reunion. I mean, who needs solitude and gripping narrative when you can just spend hours chasing multiplayer trophies with strangers, right? Well, imagine my excitement when I discovered that the picturesque land of Yara desperately needed my intervention, or at least that's the message I gleaned when it mysteriously appeared in my PlayStation Plus collection. Naturally, I thought, why not? Time to lend a hand to the virtual nation in crisis. I mean, the multiplayer trophies looked easy, and the rest, much like your mom, promised a good time. So folks, gather round, because we're about to embark on a journey through the trenches of PlayStation Network trophy hunting. Yep, I'm talking about those pesky trophies that really made you question your reality. Not just any old bad trophies. Oh no my friends. Today, we're diving headfirst into the cesspool of digital disappointment to unearth the 5 absolute worst trophies that Far Cry 6 on the PlayStation 5 has to offer. Of course, we're talking about trophies, so if you're avoiding spoilers because you want to play the game yourself, I'd suggest finding something else to watch right about now. With that in mind, let's move on to our first trophy of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, stay cool. And no, I'm not just offering you sound advice that you should live by, it's the name of our first trophy on the list. For this bronze masterpiece of a trophy, we're going to have to take on some special ops. Now, special ops are just silly little side missions that you can do for extra rewards, should you want to. What we're interested in though is this thing right here. This is what's called a PG-24X. I think it's a bomb or something. Either way, it gets hot, and our job is to get it to the extraction point without it ever getting over 50% heated on the scale thing, whatever this is. That's not an easy feat if you're going to go into this blind, and before jumping into this one, you want to make sure that you've got a parkour set, or at least something that ups your movement speed, as speed is the name of the game. Now your goal is to sprint from water source to water source, utilising as much shade as possible, and as long as you holster your weapon whenever possible and slide repeatedly to keep your speed buff up, you shouldn't have too much of an issue keeping the temperature meter low. It's probably best to do this one in the Guerrilla level, as this seems to offer the most shade, and hugging the left side of the map seems to help too. It's probably going to take you a couple of attempts to finally get this one, but once you have it, you'll have taken your first steps into the worst trophies that Far Cry 6 has to offer, and I'm sure Gus would be proud.
And I even managed to make it out with my skin on.
Time to wind up some unsuspecting soldiers now. Of course, this is a Far Cry game, so there are bases dotted all over the island that we need to take control of. That'll come in handy for our next trophy, which is outdated tech. All we need to do is sabotage an alarm and then watch some poor Yaran army soul attempt to call for backup and instead get a face full of shrapnel. Of course it wouldn't be on the list if it was so easy, so what's the problem? Well, in order to do this, you're going to need the Techmaster wristbands, as this is the item that allows you to actually sabotage alarms. Now to get the fabled wristband, you're going to have to invest in your bandito camps. We need 420 medicine and metal resources to be able to get the bandito barracks to level 3, thus allowing us to buy what we need. It doesn't sound like too much, does it? Resources are dotted all over the place, but bear in mind that you'll need resources for other things as well, so let's just hope you've got a few going spare. Once you have what you need, it really is as simple as sneaking into a base, unseen naturally, playing with the alarm, then getting caught on purpose and allowing a guard a chance to call for backup. You're best doing this in a base that only has one alarm, as if they end up using a different one, well, all your efforts will have gone to waste and you'll find yourself in yet another firefight. If you're struggling with the bases, then you can always do it at a checkpoint dotted all around the island. They tend to be less heavily guarded and they do tend to only have one alarm. But why is it on the list? Well, having to use a specific wristband to sabotage an alarm is it's stupid. It's really that simple to me. How does using a specific wristband make you able to sabotage alarms? Yeah, I'm really reaching on this one, but that's something that really rubbed me up the wrong way. Maybe it's because I'm more of a run and gun kind of guy and stealth is not always the first option to me, but hey, if you want to feel like Solid Snake, then this one might be right up your street. Naturally, this wouldn't be a Far Cry game if there wasn't a rather large arsenal of weapons and explosives that you can use to literally pave your way around the island, whilst being the most revered guerrilla the world has ever seen. So for our next trophy, we're going to be looking a little bit deeper into this. Armed to the Teeth wants us to collect at least 49 unique weapons, and I emphasise unique because if you're anything like me, you'll think that 49 unique weapons just means 49 different weapons. That's a pretty easy mistake to make, all things considered, right? Well, it's not quite as simple as that. I mean, we can customise any standard weapon to the teeth and make them better in both form and function than most unique weapons, but what it's actually referring to is the boxed weapons that you'll find dotted around the map in the clutches of Gus's minions. They're not exactly hard to tell the difference between, usually they look like they're from the future or some sort of cocaine-induced psychosis, but the most important part is the name. If it is a named weapon, it is a unique weapon. I didn't use many of the pre-made unique weapons when actually playing the game all that much, which meant that come time for the trophy, I had a lot of collecting to do. Now I did gain around 20 to 25 or so just from playing the game, and I'm sure if I'd have actually taken the time to loot every crate that I saw, I'd have had a lot more, but never fret about all that nonsense, as finding them really is a case of either looking online as there's 1,000,001 guides for it, or better still, hover over the menu you're after in the arsenal menu and you'll get a little hint, so to speak, of where you need to go and what you need to do. Some involve just going to a certain area, and some have a bit more to do. The worst that you'll ever have to do really is either a treasure hunt or a quick Yara story. You can cherry pick the ones that you want, and for those trying to just add trophy clout to their collection, you might as well go for the really easy ready to collect ones. So keep a lookout for chests that are in the shape of crocodiles while exploring F&D areas such as bases and checkpoints, and before you know it, you'll be the proud owner of a gun arsenal that looks like it wouldn't be out of place in RuPaul's Drag Race if it was set in an American school. So, why is it on the list? Well, that's just because it's a bit pointless. Like I said, you can make any standard weapon better than most unique weapons, but you do get some pretty cool paint jobs out of it, so it's all swings and roundabouts. Tangent time now, or a rant, whatever you want to call it. If you're watching this video and you've made it this far, firstly, thank you very much, don't forget to subscribe, I love you. Secondly, it wouldn't exactly be a Sherlock style deduction to work out that you like trophies. Now, I like to make videos and collect trophies while I'm playing video games, and I don't have a lot of spare time nowadays being a dad and all that jazz, so what little time I do get, I don't want to feel like it's being wasted or I'm being cheated out of what I'm trying to go for. That brings me on to broken trophies. Trophies that either don't work, don't pop when they should, or, like the dreaded multiplayer trophies, are just non-obtainable anymore because server shutdowns. But where am I going with all of this? Well friends, it's time we had a little chat about the endangered animals in Yara. Specifically, we're looking at the Ultimate Predator trophy while we do this. Ultimate Predator is a pretty generic trophy in a game like Far Cry these days. All we have to do is hunt the mythical beasts, and that's not exactly hard, as where they spawn is revealed to you on the map when you get to level 3 in the Hunter's Lodge. Now this trophy is broken, and it's broken in a couple of different ways. Firstly, let's start with the most annoying one. The Sangueriano, or whatever it's called. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right because I don't speak Spanish, but we're just going to call it a jaguar. This one only spawns at night, and there's no way to speed up the clock, so if you're going for it, you'll just have to wait for the day-night cycles. They're about 30 minutes long, it's not too bad. Then there's the problem of it just not spawning at all. Now, it does spawn at night, but it took me 3 nights until this thing actually spawned. Moving away from the area and coming back did nothing. Reloading saves did nothing. Eventually, I did just have to sit there with the PS5 on in the background and check it from time to time to see if he'd spawned yet. Lo and behold, eventually he graced us with his presence, so in return, I graced him with mine, and I was a whole lot less graceful. Onto the black and white wolves that also have a long Spanish name that I can't pronounce. They spawn in a pair, and don't let the signs around you fool you. These are not endangered animals, since they respawned on me twice. It wasn't so bad as I knew it was them causing the problem, as their icon didn't disappear from the map once I killed them, but still, I did feel that cold bead of sweat roll down my back as I thought it had all been for naught and the trophy had cock-blocked me from the platinum. Eventually, it gave up the ghost and finally made their way into the blue yonder, never to be hunted again. Rest in pieces, wolf. Get good. And I'm sure we'll meet again when you respawn for some reason. Obviously, a trophy that doesn't work properly is prime rib for a worst trophy list. So simple, yet so complicated at the same time. So finally, here we are again, at the end of the road, and boy, do I have a doozy for you this time around. Now, how long are you willing to work on a single trophy? Maybe an hour, maybe 10 hours, a day, maybe even a week? Well, what about 3 weeks? Yep, Oh No You Don't wants us to take out 3 insurgency leaders. Now let me explain what insurgency is. Insurgency is a game mode that unlocks once you've finished the main story. It's basically the main story flipped back on you, as the FND nerds are the ones now trying to take the island back off Libertad, and once a week you'll have the opportunity to take out an insurgency. It's nothing complicated, you just take back some bases that have been stolen, complete a special op, and then finish it off by taking out the insurgency leader. All in all, it takes about 30 to 45 minutes of casual play to do a single insurgency. It's not hard to do, as you've been doing it all game, and I challenge you to tell the difference between an insurgency leader and any other generic soldier. Now the problem is the 1 per week thing that someone at Ubisoft thought was a good idea. As you can probably imagine, this is the last one I had on my list, and well, I had to come back to it every Monday to make sure I didn't miss my chance. You'll need to kill 3, so naturally you'll need to wait 3 weeks. That's 504 hours. Oh, you want to know the best bit? The community did what the community does best and found ways to cheat at this trophy. Spawning 2 insurgency leaders at once, reloading after killing the leader, you line them up, and as of the publishing of this video, Ubisoft have knocked them all down, as every single known way to cheese this trophy has been patched. Now you're going to have arguments online with people telling you that it's not been patched and you can do it this way or that way, because Lord knows I have. And I assure you that barring a specific to you glitch that happens to you and only you because you're super lucky, there is no other way of getting this trophy than doing it in the intended way. For that reason, and that reason alone, Oh No You Don't is the worst trophy in Far Cry 6 by a country mile. I can't think of another way that they could have done this. Maybe have the insurgency active as soon as you've taken a base? That way you can try and work towards the trophy whilst you play. But the way things are set up at the minute, you finish the game and you just check back every week for your insurgency. The game is good, and I'm not going to say the game is bad. It's by far probably one of the best Far Cry games, but does it have 3 weeks worth of content to keep you busy while you wait? Nah son, it don't. Well folks, there you have it, my trophy list, and let's be honest, I'm only here for the sweet validation in the form of shiny trophies, and there's no shame in that, is there? Now, if you're like me and trophies are your jam, you've got a bit of free time on your hands, because honestly, who doesn't? Consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing the notification bell. It's like joining an exclusive club of fellow trophy enthusiasts, and you won't want to miss out on our future adventures now, will you? But hey, if trophies aren't your thing, that's cool too. Thanks a bunch for stopping by and keeping us company. We appreciate each and every single one of you. Now let's talk about Far Cry 6. It's not just a game, it's a platinum journey waiting to happen. It's got that perfect mix of being challenging yet achievable, and the platinum trophy will look fantastic on your mantelpiece right alongside all of your other glorious platinums. So thanks a million for watching. Don't let my ramblings deter you from Far Cry 6. Go out there, have a blast, earn that platinum, and until next time, happy gaming, take care, I appreciate you all.